Hi, it's Jonathan from Red Laces, the consultancy that helps you remove your fear around compliance. And then, because compliance really is the minimum, isn't it? We change the narrative and then focus on risk, opportunity and growth. And this week's update, I've come out for a run. I haven't been out enough this week. Been feeling a bit flat, to be honest. So out here for a run. We've got a couple of podcasts. I've been in 3 podcasts released this week. Coffee and Conversation podcast, which you've got a clip in this video. The Slip Safety Show with Christian Harris. That's over on YouTube, so check that out. And also the X Factor of Safety podcast with my friend Pedro Maciel is out today. Wherever we are in the world, mental health is actually one thing that does combine and unite us. We're here today from Ed Deborah over in Ghana. And at the end of the video, are you talking to your tomatoes? Maybe you should.
The things that we're going to talk about today are creativity and risk. I think it sums up, and a host of questions and thoughts sparked in my head, but a couple that connect back actually to a previous podcast with Nigel Vardy. We were talking about the outdoors, and he was very much talking about risk in the outdoors and how actually learning through risk as well, and how it's actually a really valuable tool. And certainly, I think it really, it intrigued me when I saw your LinkedIn message around this creativity and risk, because they almost feel like 2 different ends of the spectrum. But actually, when we've been chatting briefly and, a little bit of an insight into it, I think that idea of seeing risk from a different perspective and starting to embrace it almost as part, and so it's something that happens and it's everywhere. So actually, instead of maybe pigeonholing it off and seeing something as bad and to be avoided, actually, if we can understand some of that, then perhaps there are broader solutions, which again fits into some other conversations I've had through the Coffee and Conversation podcast around perspective and the need for diversity of thinking. It does intrigue me, that idea of creativity on one hand and risk, and how the two. And I'm just sitting here reflecting, particularly on what you've just said in terms of, we started talking about risk management and yes, creativity in there, but actually what I'm taking away from this conversation are words like care, collaborate, connect, curious, learning, growth, all of those which feel very far removed from maybe an initial perception on what risk is. And it's, it really, I find it fascinating just to, again, it's about perspective and how you view things, and that shift in perspective to see things in a more positive light that starts from a place of removing fear. And if you can remove that fear or create an environment where it's okay to talk about your fears and air them, then actually that opens up then this whole new way of working in a sense of care, collaborate, and all those other words that you use. So definitely just reflecting on and coming back to your very first quote, what an apt quote in terms of better to fail giving it a go than succeed, or was it better to fail being creative rather than succeed from just copying or imitation?
Hello, my name is Edward Deborah, lead consultant, ED Consult Ghana. I'm privileged to talk about mental health this morning. When you look at the pandemic and the effect it has on the global economy, people are really suffering. Lots of people have lost their jobs and all of that. I feel that as safety professionals, this is the time we need to share knowledge. The simple tips people can employ to ensure that their mental state is intact. Exercising is one way that people can get rid of mental health. It's important that on a daily basis, at least we exercise outdoor for 1 hour. It's also important that we read stress-related books that will help us get more understanding as to what really causes stress and the way we can deal with it. Most importantly, as safety professionals, we should always be giving a helping hand to people who are in dire need during this stage. Let's spread love, and I believe together we can make a change. Mental health is something that is with us. It's going to be with us forever, and we have to take steps to make sure that people know about it, to complain about it, to talk about it, and to find lasting solutions to ending the canker. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Andrew Sharman. I'm the president of IOSH, the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health, and I've written a couple of books recently on well-being. Jonathan's asked me to share a couple of tips with you on what I think might help improve our mental health, and boy do we need that right now amongst the turbulence of the coronavirus pandemic. I thought I'd just tell you simply what it is that I'm doing to balance my mental health. I'm getting out here into the sunshine as often as I can. You all know that a bit of vitamin D is good for us, not just for our skin, but for the hormones in our body too. So getting a bit of vitamin D into us is great, but particularly I like getting down here. I made this little veggie patch just a few weeks ago, and it's really taken off in the sunshine. I've got some courgettes and some squash growing here. I've got a bunch of tomato plants going here. And what I like doing is just getting out here and having a good look to see what's going on, where those tomatoes are growing. And I end up having a wee chat to them, to be honest, and that's okay, talking to tomatoes, isn't it? As long as it puts a smile on our face, I think it's pretty good. I hope that works for you, even if it's just getting out and having a smile at yourself in the sunshine. All the best. Bye for now.